is our anterior pelvic corrective series. So the reason we're doing this is when we look at our athletes, what we'll have them do is show us their belt line. What we want to see is the belt line is almost parallel to the ground. If the athlete has their belt tilted down like this, the front of their belt is tilted down, what that tells us is they have too tight of hip flexors and not strong enough glutes. So whenever we're talking about the hips, we're talking about the powerhouse of the lower body. When the hips don't function properly, lower body speed and power are compromised. So Dave here is going to go through our entire series. We're going to go through it kind of quick. First thing we're going to do is we call it glute fire front bridge, emphasis on firing the glutes. So Dave's going to pop down into a good front bridge position. Now we don't want this to be a resting position. What we want to do is dig these elbows into the ground, and we're going to pull them back toward the toes. We're going to dig the toes in, pull them back. Really firing these glutes. Knees are locked. He's solid here. Okay, he's solid all through. And you notice he's squeezing hard enough that he's actually shaking just a little bit. We want 45 good seconds of really intense work here. Go ahead and show him a resting position in this. Well, not that far. There you go. Okay, so we don't want the easy resting position. We want that tight contraction. Now he's going to go into our quadruped series. So he's going to go on all fours, hands and knees. The first one's called quadruped hip abduction. So what he's going to do is he's going to take this knee up slightly. And notice he's bringing it right behind his hip. It's not up here in line with the hip. Really watch this area right here. We want to keep the belt line parallel to the ground. He's doing a good job on his abs tight. I want to be able to rest a glass of water here without spilling it. So that's the abduction. Now we're going to do a circle. He's going to circle both directions. So we're going to do one here. He's going to get that leg high and back, bring it around. Real good. There you go. A little bit too much hip height on that one. Go ahead and keep it stable. There you go. Okay, so now you notice he's got a nice tight circle here. This is staying solid. He's going to show you a bad circle now. Go ahead and show him a bad one. Okay, do a real big one, real big. Okay, the idea that we're trying to get across here is if we see this area moving, then that's success. What we want is a perfect range of motion, not a maximal range of motion. So now you see he's circling the other way. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll circle 10 times forward, 10 times backward. And that's the next two steps of the quadruped series. The last step is going to be the scorpions. So same body position. He's going to hike that heel into his hip, and he's going to try to kick himself in the back of the head. And he's going slow to kind of show you the movement. You can do it a little bit more dynamic, a little speed on it. But notice, he's hitting a break here because he's staying tight with the abs. At a certain point, he has to stop. Show him where your back caves in. Right there. We don't want that. We want these elbows to stay solid, core stay solid. Okay? So the next one is going to be prone, hip abduction. Prone means laying face down. Okay, so he's going to kick his right arm out, supports his forehead on his left forearm, and now what we're going to do is keep that foot with the toe pointing down. He's going to take it out to the side, and again, only as far as he can while maintaining proper core control. What we're looking for in this is the toe turning out or this hip popping up in the air. That tells us he's going too far. It's all about firing up this glute right here. Okay, increasing hip strength through some simple muscle activation. Now he's going to go to bloodhound, so we're back in that quadruped position. Okay, so we're working across the core here. He's going to fire the muscles in the upper back that control the shoulder. He's also going to fire the glute right here that controls the leg. Okay. Go to the other side, always alternating. There you go. Again, we're looking right here to make sure there's no movement there. Now this is pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to progress by bringing his knees together. He's going to bring his hands together. We increase the complexity of the exercise by minimizing the base. All right, go ahead and do the same thing. Good. That is still pretty solid. So another way to make this tougher is we're going to take one of the senses away. You won't really pick this up on the video, but close your eyes. There you go. Now don't reach too high. Reach back to the walls. There you go. Much better, much better. Okay, so we take the eyes away, takes one of the senses away, challenges his balance in a different manner. Now what we're going to do is add a little circle at the top. So he gets out there, stabilizes, does a little circle each way, then he puts it back down. So just some simple progressions you can do for the bloodhounds. Typically athletes master this fairly quickly, so we got to keep cranking it up on them to challenge their body to the next level. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our foam roll here. We talked about tight hip flexors, and it'll be a tight psoas. So what we want to do is we're going to hit the hip flexors to beat them up with the foam roll a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple different angles here. I'm going to show the side angle first. Now what he's going to do is he's basically foam rolling over the pocket area, maybe just right above the belt line. Notice he's got his knee bent. The reason for that is that puts a little bit more stretch on the muscle we're trying to hit. Get in there, and notice how he's taking it nice and slow, just like a massage therapist would work on an area, give it some attention. Okay, go ahead and flip to the other side. More forward, kind of at an angle. A little bit more. Come over to me a little bit. Okay, there you go. Is that better? Okay. But like I was saying, we don't want to go real fast with it. We want to get in there real deep, loosen up those muscles. And the rule of thumb is, the tighter an area is, the more you need to hit it with the foam roll. Okay, so if he hits a particular spot that's really tender or it's a lump, then he wants to hit that with a few more rolls. Okay, so that's the hip flexor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kick that leg out to the side. So he's now going to get up in the crevice of the hip, maybe even the lower abs. There you go. Hitting that. Get all the way up in there in those abs a little bit. Good. And that's going to hit the psoas. Okay? The psoas runs transverse from the femur through the body and attaches to the lumbar spine. A lot of back pain can be caused by a tight psoas. So this is a great way to loosen that up. Okay, so now we beat up these with myofascial release with the foam roll. Relax. Now we're going to stretch it. It's going to go into a reverse lunge and twist. So right leg is back. Okay, so you're going to get a good long lunge. Now, some people are going to be more comfortable with this knee suspended 1 inch off the ground, or you can put it on the ground. Okay, kick that front foot out a little bit more. We always want this shin straight up and down. We never want this shin so far forward and it's like this out over the toe. Always straight up and down. Okay, so he's going to drive his hips forward toward the camera. Arms out in front. He's going to grab his wrist. He's going to pull it across all the way. I'm sorry, you're right. There you go. Right there. Notice we're staying strong through the core. This low back is not caving in. It's solid. Okay? Go ahead and relax. Now we're going to take you through the angle lunge. So I'm just going to walk you through it. He's standing even. Now he's going to drop step the right leg at 45. There you go. Good. Now, notice he adjusted his hips because this hip is going to want to turn toward this knee. Okay? We don't want that to happen. We want to stay square here. He's going to move that foot out a little bit. There you go. He's just going to drive his belly button forward. Okay? Now, feel that stretching. Okay? Arms straight up. He's going to lean away from me, and then he's going to rotate slightly to me. Notice there's only a few degrees here because there's already a lot of tension on that hip. If they're able to really turn, they're probably not in the right hip position. Okay? Keep breathing. We always want to breathe when we stretch. Both these stretches are going to hold for 20 to 30 seconds minimum. Okay? The tighter they are, the more lengthy the stretch. Go ahead and relax. Okay? So obviously we'll do both those stretches on each side. Okay? For equal amounts of time. And then the last thing we're going to do is lay down with your head here. So lay down. So to the side. Yeah, on your face. Okay, we're going to do swimmers. So the first thing is arms and legs are out. We want the nose to stay on the ground. Okay? Same as the bloodhounds, we're going to fire the muscles in the upper back and then go across through the glute. There you go. It's just an opposite arm, opposite leg action. Again, we're looking for stability in here. We want to make sure that these muscles raise the arm and that these muscles raise the leg. Not overcompensating here. Now, do one where your body, where your head and everything raises up. See how he caves in right here? All right? That tells me he's lost some core control. That's why we want to keep the head down. We want to keep the pressure on the hips and on the shoulders and work across the core and stay in strong core, not a big mobile. Okay? And that's our anterior pelvic tilt series. Thanks.